So Pokemon Legends ZA, it just released from Nintendo and Game Freak, currently available via the Switch as well as the Nintendo Switch 2. And when you talk about Pokemon, I would consider myself more like a red, blue, green type of guy myself, which just kind of shows you how out of touch I am currently with the franchise. But one thing I know about Pokemon, it's a huge moneymaker for Nintendo, and they'll do anything necessary by any means to protect the integrity of their cash cow. Now, this whole story begins with this big leak which happened recently. Not only did this game, the ROM, actually leak early ahead of the official release date, but we also learned some financial information behind the scenes, how cheap it actually is to produce these games in Japan versus how much money that they make, as well as some leaks about the whole like Pokemon universe, right? The trajectory of the brand moving forward. So when you talk about these leaks, apparently Nintendo wasn't happy about this, and as expected, we got some DMCs, takedowns being handed out by Nintendo themselves. We got this account right here, Central Leaks. As y'all see right here, all of these images, allegedly Nintendo taking down stuff, which I guess proves that if they're taking down these images, that the leaks are actually official. Right now, when you talk about this account right here, they're saying the biggest source of Pokemon leaks, rumors, and news, which as far as this account, I pretty much don't even want to get into what they got going on over here because I don't want the Nintendo ninjas knocking at my door, right? So Nintendo, they're taking down people. They don't want any information about this game being leaked out, and rightfully so, right? It's a huge moneymaker for the brand, but I think even more importantly, they don't want us to know how cheap it is to produce these games and how much money they're making, because we're going to get into why a lot of people are complaining about this title. But as far as the early reviews, things are looking quite positive, I would say. As we take a look here at Metacritic, we got 49 critic reviews currently in with an average score of 80, which I would say is quite impressive, due to all of the chatter that we hear online, the negative, criticism of this game, a lot of talking points, but overall, it seems like the critics are pretty much rocking with the game right here. So let's just take a look at some of the stuff that we got right here. Where should we go right here? 4P. They said a well-rounded gameplay flow, seamless catching, fighting, as well as smooth performance. Pokemon Legends ZA, the best game delivered by Game Freak in the last 10 years. That's pretty impressive. Screen Rant with a 90, talking about it's fun, a fresh take on the series, formula that really helps Pokemon Legends ZA set itself apart from the best entries yet. That's pretty impressive. All right, so let's get out of some of these clout chasing interviews right here and get into some more real reviews, right? As we got Game Radar here with the 80, the average score. They're saying Pokemon Legends ZA offers a true slice of life Pokemon experience thanks to its anime style, real-time combat system, and wholesome world-building elements. All right, cool. So it says, while a single city setting can sometimes feel a bit samey, it is densely packed with things to do and discover. This is a world of getting lost in. All right, I like what that sounds. I think basically when you talk about this game, while it might not be the most impressive game visually, graphically and everything, I think it's, maybe a love letter to Pokemon fans, right? I think people that, have enjoyed the franchise for years, as well as new people, can all enjoy a title like this. I would say definitely for me coming up as a kid, like if I could have imagined playing them old games on my Game Boy, that we could have a full open world 3D title like this, like that would be everything I could ever ask for, right? Now, we do also have some lower 70 reviews from, for example, Nintendo Life. They said that the game should be celebrated for its fabulous real-time combat and its largely smooth jump to the Switch 2, but it's condescending things down to one single location. It loses part of the Pokemon magic. I get it. Fair criticisms. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look, because remember, this game is available via the Switch 1 as well as Switch 2. Pokemon, Nintendo, they're putting a lot of energy as far as taking down people leaking information about the game, but maybe they should be more focused on the performance of the titles, as we do have some comparisons right here. As pictured on the left, you got your Switch 1 versus the Switch 2 screenshot, and based off these images right here, I mean, we are looking at stills, right? I think we would get a better perception if we were actually looking at gameplay. But again, I don't want to get taken down myself, right? I can't really tell too much of a difference, right? Now, they have done a great job of basically separating everything. When you talk about the jump from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, the biggest performance, that's noticeable, I would say, would be the 30 frames per second versus the 60 frames per second. And then if you want to get technical, in dock mode on your Switch 1, you would also have dynamic 1080p versus Switch 2 docked. You're getting upscaled 2160p. So quite a big graphical jump, but based off what we're seeing here, the resolution, while you can see a little bit maybe less blurriness, I can't really tell a huge difference. So the only thing I'm trying to say is a lot of these criticisms that people are saying online are legit. This is a huge moneymaker franchise when you talk about Nintendo and Game Freak. So I feel like with all the cash that they're bringing in for the company, bro, at the end of the day, they're producing these titles in Japan. It's a lot cheaper to produce games in Japan versus in the US. It's already cheaper to make the games. At least they can invest a little more money, right? With the amount of games that they're actually dropping, the frequency, like, bro, this is almost like 2K or something where they're dropping a new game every year. So we definitely know they're making a whole lot of money and investing a lot of energy with their lawyers, DMC takedowns and all of that good stuff. Maybe they should focus on the game. That's all I'm saying, right? But then again, I'm not really the target audience here for Pokemon. But I do want to just speak out for all the Pokemon fans because it's a huge title, huge franchise, and they should at least do the right thing, right? So let me know what you guys think about this situation as far as the early Metacritic reviews. I would say quite positive, you know, for a title which some people would call microwave. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, right? So JA Gaming, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed this update, make sure you smash the like button. If you enjoyed the content, come along for the journey. Consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys next time. As always, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Love.